This is the Always More podcast.
Hello, everybody. It is November 29th, and welcome to the Always More podcast, where we believe there's always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversations, and deeper understanding. Today in the pod, we have a lot. I've been looking through the notes, and we got a lot going on. So we obviously have holidays. Duh. That's what the theme is. Men who won't seek therapy. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Runaway wine. Crazy. Harrowing conditions, medical conditions. And of course, there's so much more. But first, hi, I'm your host. I'm Harley. Nice to meet you. And sitting across from me through this wonderful thing called a computer and technology is Tim Lichty.
Hello. We're here.
We are here.
Chris is not here.
Chris, no. Chris is not. We are here. Chris is not.
Chris is out in Colorado helping his in-laws move. That is,
yes.
And the last I heard, he is in Colorado and it's cold, and that is a place I do not want to be because it is cold. How cold is it there in Kansas? Because it's like actually around the same latitude, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a great question. We just got snow.
Oh gosh.
It is currently 35. Tomorrow will be a high of 49. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be because there's not a lot of surprisingly, because it's Kansas, there's really not a lot of wind right now.
Well, that is surprising.
Yeah. So it doesn't make it colder. That's the one thing that I really hated most about Texas winter is just that it was cold and then the wind was just just made it so much worse.
I feel like it's just waiting for your most unexpected moment. I feel like it's going to hit -20 because of a wind gust. For there, I feel like one day you're going to come out it's only 30 degrees, and then a wind gust is going to come by unexpectedly, and it's going to feel like -20.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That was, I'm trying to think. I remember, so I thought Texas was bipolar when it came to weather, but Kansas, I think, is worse. Ooh. Because it is centrally located. And so it gets this whirlwind of every other place's weather just at different hours of the day. So I used to think Texas was bad because it'd be 60 in the morning and then 80 in the afternoon or 90 in the afternoon.
Right.
Kansas will be 30 in the morning, 90 in the afternoon. And it's are you kidding me? And then there's the wind that's chopping you to pieces, or during the summer, the wind is so hot that it makes it even hotter outside. And it's just dry and no good. Wow. It's so nasty. But then it gets really humid too, which is, I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
It's really funny. I have no interest whatsoever to ever moving or living in a cold environment. But as of late, I've been watching this guy on YouTube. His name is Luke something, but his YouTube channel is called The Outdoor Boys or something like that. It's him and his sons. And they live in Alaska. They lived in other places before, but they live in Alaska, and so he just goes out and do camping trips and everything in sub-zero weather and shows you how to survive and everything. It's super fascinating. It's crazy, but I would never want to do it. But it's in case I ever something happens, I can get some knowledge on how to survive it. But yeah,
that is wild. I have learned. I think what really helps me is that I've learned how to layer really well. And so that really helps with the cold.
It's true. Yeah, he was wearing a jacket that's made for -20 degree weather.
Yeah, and then you're good to go. If you have your fleece lined and your different things underneath, you're set.
Yeah.
You just have to.
That's the thing. It's that clothing is not cheap though, and I don't feel like it's worth it for me as a Texan to invest in super.
Absolutely
thick.
not.
Yeah, I just. On the random week that it's horribly cold, that's it. I don't think it's worth it to paying hundreds of dollars for a really crazy jacket.
Yeah, when you could just wear 4 flannels and call it even.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's how it's been lately. What's the weather there?
49 at the moment.
Oh, see? So, like, you're pretty close. We're 35.
No, you have a high of 49. This is like nighttime here, and it get low as like 35 maybe.
Well, yeah, our current temperature is 35. So, like, it's fine. Our low for today is 17.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
There's the difference.
Yeah.
There's the difference.
I'm technically probably closer to Nebraska than I am to Oklahoma.
Okay. So higher up north.
Farther north.
Yeah.
I think. Let me double check.
I mean, if you live close to Nebraska, then yeah, it's north.
Let's see how far Omaha is.
Omaha.
Oh, I could have done Lincoln. That's a bit closer. Pick that one.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah. Just tell me how far it is. Why is this happening? Okay, well, Omaha is 3 hours away.
Okay.
And let's go with like Oklahoma City, I guess. 4 hours, 35 minutes away.
Okay. It's close. Yeah. It's cold,
and then
by
Texas.
the way. Like,
facts.
Like whenever I think of like old time winter, I think of like the Midwest. I think of like
yeah,
just like plains of snow and horrible blizzards, and like I know that's coming your way. You're gonna have that. You know that, right?
Yeah,
it's coming.
I was seeing something recently that was talking about like the Farmer's Almanac is like the best thing that you can rely on for weather, because that's obviously how farmers function.
Yeah.
In order to like grow their crops. And there was something recently that they were saying like, this is going to be a bad winter.
Ooh, fun times.
And I really hate that. But my car has like snow traction
Well, that's cool.
button. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very adulty. Okay. Let's go ahead and move into our first segment, which is... I say it?
Do I say it?
I no, I thought we had the button.
I thought you say it before. Wreck and Rev.
Is that really how it goes?
Yes. Harley, we've been doing this show for how long now?
Like 2 years. I don't know anything anymore. Okay, let's run that back, Turbo.
Oh, no, we're going. No. I'm not editing. We don't have time to edit. This is going in straight up as it is.
Okay, well, can I at least say it and justify myself?
Sure.
Okay. Next, we have Wreck and Rev.
Very nice.
Fabulous. This is the part of the show where we recommend and review things for you and your entertainment. So, Tim, what do you have?
All right, guys, I'm pulling on my movie bougie hat. There was a film I've been wanting to watch because of the director, The Killer, directed by David Fincher, who did films like Fight Club, The Social Network, Zodiac. He's got a good resume.
Did I tell you I watched Fight Club?
Did you?
Yeah, like kind of indirectly. We'll talk about that later, though.
Okay. The story is a man methodical and unencumbered by scruples or regret. The killer waits in the shadows, watching for his next target. And yet, the longer he waits, the more he thinks he's losing his mind, if not his cool. A brutal, bloody, and stylish noir story of a professional assassin lost in a world without a moral compass. This is a case study of a man alone, armed to the teeth, and slowly losing his mind. It's got Michael Fassbender in it, and the film is very much a nod to those who like to have perfection in their lives and who get irked and who don't like it. Like they freak out when things mess up around them. And so
when they're not in control?
Yes, when they're not in control. When you've worked so hard for things to work out just the way you wanted them to, and then they don't. It's that kind of film. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's not an action film. I wouldn't call it an action film. It's definitely almost like a case study, like the synopsis says. But it's really great. Michael Fassbender's in it. It's got a few other cast members. I'm not going to say who they are, but it's really good, really cool.
Interesting. I probably wouldn't like it if it's gory.
It's not gory. Not gory. No. I think you know what we need from you, Harley, because we've had discussions like this in the past. We need like a litmus test for you on like
litmus test,
like a test of where like you have a movie you watch that you go, yep, that one is too much, and so we can kind of gauge where it is, because I feel like this one was not that bad.
Okay, well, I've watched what was that war movie that came out? Quiet on the Western Front.
Did you just say what is that war movie that came out? Okay, that's definitely more gory than The Killer.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, there's a fight.
Sounds
scene
like
in
something
this.
Hunter would be interested
It's
in.
really cool. It's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. It's really fascinating.
I think he did watch this, actually. Wait a minute. I'm going to look it up real quick. Because I think I didn't watch it with him, of course. I was like doing something, but I remember like coming in like our living room and just like kind of partially watching it. And this guy, like, was he bald? Is he bald in the film?
The main
Kinda?
character?
Yeah.
No,
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
not at
Hold
all.
on.
Michael Fassbender. The
I
guy,
don't know who that is.
he plays Magneto in the X-Men, the newer
Oh,
X-Men.
is he not? Oh, yes. This is what he watched this. He's kind of bald.
Michael Fassbender is not bald.
He's like thin-haired.
There's a difference.
Okay. Anyways, yes. Hunter did watch this.
Okay.
I think he did like that, actually. Wow. Yeah. Because I remember the one scene where he's sitting in the room and then he's like sniping.
Yes, it's at the very beginning.
Yeah. That's all I got. Take it or leave it. And then he was like, shit.
Yeah,
I think.
he goes through this list of things that he's preparing for, the things that he does to prepare to take his final or his shot towards his target, and it's all just methodical. It's all structured and organized, and things don't go to plan.
Men who need to go to therapy.
I tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what.
Because I remember like popping in on different scenes and this man like kind of like losing his mind or something. Or I just remember one scene, I feel like, where he was like, oh, now I can't even describe it. But it was like, it kind of seemed like, obviously I wasn't intently watching, but it kind of seemed like he was freaking out or something. Something was happening, or he was dreaming and something, he was freaking out. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It was some scene. Or I heard it. I have no idea. Anyways,
Who knows?
very interesting. Yeah, Hunter did watch that one. Okay, so mine is actually an app, which,
Fascinating. We haven't had one of those in a while.
yeah, has its pros and cons. So it's called Laps. And basically,
Sorry, I'm hungry.
I support. It's okay. It's hold on. So it's a social media app that turns your phone into a disposable camera. And it basically like you'll take a picture and it develops it when in reality, I don't know if it's like developing it or anything, but it takes like up to an hour sometimes.
Oh my God.
And you can't view the image and it'll be like hold to develop when it's ready. And you hold down this button and then it develops it.
Huh.
But it's pretty cute. What sucks about it is when I first got it, it's like invite only or whatever. So basically you had to connect your contacts to it. So you have to use like your phone number.
Okay.
And then you have to send it to at least 5 of your friends
To use it?
to use it, to even see what the app is even about. This is like the opening sequence of this app.
Wow.
And it was so annoying because I was like sending it to my friends and I was like, I don't know what this is about. So just, I'll get back to you, but I have to send this. And they were like, okay. But it's really cute. It does develop your photos to where they like look like old film photos almost, like on probably like a 90s disposable camera, I think is more, because it's not like super old film looking.
Right.
So probably like newer film, 2000s. But it's got this nice, cute little tinge filter after you take the photo. And then they just post to your profile. You can add a little music thing, a little song to your profile.
Oh.
Very cute, very retro.
Got a little MySpace thing going on there.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You can add like a little bio.
Does it give you your
Yeah.
top 8 friends?
No, I don't think so.
Watch it. Watch it do that. Like, I remember, and Harley, I don't know if you were too young, but like, I remember taking disposable cameras with me to like summer camp and like taking photos and like having to get them like made later on, developed later on. Like that was a thing. Like it's wild to think about how like I lived through that and then like just a few years later, like totally graduated from it.
It's a trend and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
I didn't personally do it because I was a child, but I know my family members did. Cause like I would like go through our photo albums and it would be all like disposable pictures and blah, blah, blah. And finding little film ones that have never been developed. No idea where any of these photos are to this day, which is crazy, but
lost in the abyss.
Literally, genuinely. But yeah, it's a pretty cute, It's a pretty cute app, but if you don't want to have to do the whole process of like setting up your account, sending it to 5 friends, that's what sucks about it. Okay. But the photos are cool and you get to react to your other friends' photos that they upload with like little emojis and you can like add a note to it, like comment on it.
Now, do you get to like delete the photos? Because I feel like it would be cool if you couldn't. It would be it'd be very real. Right. Like you can't edit, you can't change. This is what you took. That would be interesting.
When you develop the photo, it like shows you the image and you can either like press the left button, which is like sends it to an archive, which other people cannot see. Your friends can't see it.
Okay.
And then to the right is the share option. When it first was made, you could not delete the photos, but a recent update, I think people were like, why can't I delete this? It's so dumb. I don't want to. Or one thing that also sucks is...
But that was the thing about disposable cameras. Like, you can throw them away, but like, that's what you had.
Yeah. I think the one thing that is like either like you can't skip to the next photo to determine. So say you take 2 images of like the same thing. Mm-hmm. If you look at the first one and you're like, this one's good, but is the next one better?
Yeah.
You can't view the next one that you took until you archive or share or delete that first one.
Okay.
But when you weren't able to delete it, it was just kind of like, well, shit.
Yeah.
And then once you archived one, you couldn't move it to share.
Okay.
And then if you shared it, you couldn't move it to the archive. But then they updated the app. And I think now you can switch it around or something like that.
In my mind, that the other way, the first way is cooler. Like it's like a disposable camera. This is what you got. You can't just pick and choose. That's Instagram basically now.
Yeah.
That's a cool concept. I like it.
It's very cute. Very cute. The photos are awesome. Once you like literally just snapshot anything and then it makes it cuter. 12 out of 10.
Pretty cool.
9 out of 10.
12 out of 10? I'm about to say, wow.
9 out of 10. Maybe 8. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and move into our next segment, which is... Hold on. I'm mentally preparing for this.
Who's singing it?
I figured I was going to sing it.
Do it.
Did you want to sing?
No.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. What did I miss?
Very nice.
Woo!
Look at us doing an impromptu episode of the night before a release.
Literally. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me.
Not me. So this is a part of the show where we like to present to you some news that you probably didn't hear about. I'll go ahead. I'll start this one.
Do it.
I'll take it away. Don't worry about it.
You got this.
The title is Cascades of Red Wine Flood a City's Streets in Portugal After Huge Tanks Rupture.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
The images and videos of this are actually insane. Like it looks like a red river flowing through this, like
again,
crazy.
I don't see any problems with this.
Yeah, pretty intense. Okay, so roughly 2.2 million liters of wine, which is about 581,000 gallons, poured out of 2 burst tanks at distillery. Hold on.
You can do it.
I'm pulling a Tim right now.
Oh,
Distillaria.
It's Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
Distilleria.
Distilleria. Yes, that sounds right. Distilleria Lavira. Sure. Take it or leave it.
Lavira.
I don't know. Lavira. Oh, that's more Italian.
That's true.
It's fine. No one was thankfully hurt by this insane amount of wine pouring through the streets. But it did reportedly flood at least one cellar, which
again,
if that's your cellar,
hey,
less you got to worry about, I guess.
Look, a flooded cellar, but you get free wine for a while.
Yeah, that's probably where you're already keeping your wine.
That's
so
right. It's a win-win.
Now it's just easier access. It's fine. Local officials are now working to repair the damage that has been done, but also to prevent the alcoholic liquid from affecting local farms, vineyards, and water supplies.
Oh, I guess the alcohol can do some damage.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
Yeah, the other half of this.
Probably also to your liver, but who's counting? It's fine.
Who considers that? Not me.
I can't do this. It was just in my head. Distilleria.
Close enough.
Distilleria, I'm not going to say the second word, says that they are investigating the cause of the breach that sent the wine cascading down the town streets. The distillery also thanked local firefighters who are able to corral some of the wine and take it to a treatment plant. Portugal.
Can you imagine? Guys, look, you're not going to believe this, but there's a flood of wine coming down. I got this. Go. Let's go.
They have like a huge barrel.
Bring your own barrel.
They're like, we got to get this out of here. I can also imagine them trying to capture it and just flying away.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just gone. What a day at work. Sounds insane. Fun fact, Portugal has one of the world's highest wine consumption rates per capita. But
I need to move there.
Right. Apparently, it's really difficult times for wine producers right now, all across Europe. So Portugal's wine consumption it says it's in a free fall, down 34%.
What's going on there?
That is crazy. That's insane. And I don't, maybe it's because all the, the rise in non-alcoholic alcohol.
Oh, maybe.
Who knows?
And I've heard it's actually a really good place to live, as an expat. It's one of the easier places to move to as an American.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. This is making me more convincing to try to move there. I can't speak Portuguese, but I can learn.
Red wine rivers?
Count me in.
Sign me up. But apparently this is probably due to inflation and I guess and other pressures apparently.
Yeah, makes sense.
Large countries such as France and Germany are also seeing double-digit declines. Very sad. And I'm sure this runaway wine doesn't exactly help. But apparently they were storing the wine so that it could just the way they worded it sounded like the wine was going to be disposed of and turned into another type of alcohol almost. Because of the upcoming year of harvest. What they currently have is too much. And because of the rates of people just not getting wine, I guess, or some whatever, they're we have to get rid of this somehow.
So trying to make a profit. And
yep.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But yeah, they don't know what caused this at all. What caused the river of wine?
Man, it's imagine too, just as a person living in that little city, just one day you're sitting out having a cup of coffee, an espresso, and you're enjoying life, and then all of a sudden, got some red river of wine there.
I would think the world is ending, genuinely. I'd be like, oh shit.
Wasn't that
it's
one of
happening?
The
I just imagine, even though they don't know why it happened, but in Emperor's New Groove,
mm-hmm.
where Yzma is talking to Kronk, and she's like, pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
Seriously, why do we even have that sucker one? Love that movie.
I think that's what happened. That's what I'm going to think is happening anyways.
Yeah. All right. You ready for mine?
Yes.
Okay. From Anthony Talcott at clickorlando.com. A Florida woman
No.
filed a lawsuit against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts on Wednesday, so I think this was last week, claiming she suffered serious injuries through a, quote, painful wedgie at Typhoon Lagoon years ago, according to court records. So,
What? Ma'am.
it's the fact that it's like years ago. Like, what sustaining damage do you still have from this wedgie?
And she was just like, I'm going to do something about it now.
Okay, so the lawsuit said the woman visited the park in October 2019 for her 30th birthday, and she decided to ride the Humonga Cowabunga, a large high-speed water slide featuring a near-vertical 5-story drop. Have you ever been on those kind of like water drop rides where it's like almost a completely vertical drop?
No.
No, not your
Count
thing.
me out. No.
They're interesting. As instructed at the top of the slide, she got in while crossing her legs at her ankles. Though she was slammed downward against the slide. That was a quote, sorry, while riding down, the lawsuit claims. According to the court filing, the impact of the slide caused her swimsuit to, quote, be painfully forced between her legs and for water to be violently forced inside of her. I'm not a woman. I don't have a vagina. Your legs are closed. Harley, without getting too gross here, could you see that as a realistic thing?
No. I don't think like, does she mean up her anus?
I don't.
Instead, because that could make more sense, I guess.
You think that makes more sense?
But her legs were crossed, right? Didn't she say that?
Yeah.
So then you're sitting, so
You're laying down, your arms crossed, legs crossed, and
you're laying down.
Yeah. But your legs are crossed, so it's not like you're going. So here you are. Here's the slide, and you kind of. You're supposed to kind of basically just go far back as you can, and so you just fall down, basically. It's gravity. But she's claiming that she was kind of pushed into the slide even more, which I'm still trying to understand how that worked.
Yeah, I don't get that part.
Like, if you undo your legs, yeah, you could probably get some stuff.
Right.
But I don't see anywhere that says that she opened her legs. So.
But then wouldn't that just be user error? Like,
exactly.
Get a better swimsuit.
Exactly. So, as a result, she immediately suffered severe internal pain, court records indicate. She was taken to a hospital and was treated by a specialist for her injuries, ultimately suffering severe lacerations, damage to her internal organs, and a hernia, according to the lawsuit.
Are you kidding?
I feel like, you know what? I'm not going to doubt it. I'm just going to say I am baffled. I'll say that. The lawsuit accuses Disney of negligence for not warning riders about the risk of the water slide and not informing riders about proper protective swimwear. I can maybe see that defense, but it's like one of those things to where it's like a sticker is made because of this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I feel like there already has been a warnings, and they just don't think it's adequate enough to warn them of what you're wearing. But at the same time, you look at the slide. These slides are not short. Like, you're going down pretty far,
right?
And you look up there and you go, maybe I shouldn't wear loose swimwear. It's a pretty logical thought. So, anyways, the woman is seeking compensation for damages over $50,000, which is actually quite surprising it's that low, but yeah.
I don't think I understand where it went wrong in the beginning. Like, how did she get the injuries?
Like, it sounds like the water, because of how fast she was going, and because let me read it again. Maybe it'll make sense if I read it again. As instructed on top of the slide, she got in while crossing her legs at her ankles. Step 1. Though she was slammed downward against the slide. So, like, maybe I just need to look at this, because there are some where you stand up first and you're dropped. I don't know if it's that kind. There's that kind, and there's the kind that you lay down first, and then you kind of get gently pushed, and gravity just takes care of the rest. But slammed downward against the slide while riding down. See, that's where I'm confused at. Like, do they mean like the guy pushed her through?
Right.
But like, that's a very short. Like, he's not going down with her.
Yeah, and it would also mean like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I also don't really know what this ride is, anyways.
You know what? I should look it up. Right? I mean, I guess you at home, you want to know what this thing is. I've been to Disney World, but I've never been to this resort. So let me see if I can find out what it looks like, because there is a difference. If it's the one where you're, well, no, that doesn't make any sense, because how is she slammed down? That's what I need to know. Like, what does that mean? Was she pushed?
Exactly.
Was it the gravitational force? Nope. I'm looking at it right now. It's the kind that you're not even touched. You pull yourself through. Like, there's a handlebar, and you just pull yourself into the hole. It's not even that tall. I don't know about this.
Is there... Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Is there
about this.
water that, like, shoots on you as you get in the slide?
From behind.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Sounds fishy to me.
Oh, why can't I see this slide? Show me the slide.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know, Harley. I think she might be fishing for something here.
Oh, I see the top of it. Oh, yeah. That's like any other water slide ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe she uncrossed her legs.
That's what I'm thinking here. Like, she uncrossed, some water got up there, or she already had some damages and trying to, like, a car accident where you, like, try to say it was from this accident, not a previous one. I don't know.
But that's still crazy, though. If that is, like, you know, regardless, it still sounds like user error, but
yeah.
Still insane if that is the case and those damages came from that.
Indeed.
But hold on.
What?
When could the water have gone inside of her, up her, if she's going down a slide?
Because she's going faster than the water. She's sliding on top of the water, and so the excess water is rising up above. Because you got to think too, you're going faster than the water, so all that water that's beneath you, you're pushing into. Not with exceeding force, to my knowledge, but that's what she's claiming, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know, because I've been on so many water slides, and I don't think I've ever had that experience.
And looking on this picture, like, it's not that high. Like, I've been on ones that are like, it's almost like a 90-degree angle. It's like a good solid 70 degrees. And like that one, I remember having wedgies on, but it was never like, hurt. It was just like, yeah, I got caught up my butt crack. It is what it is.
But this also just looks like a slide where you mostly go with the water.
Exactly. It's like, it's not even that steep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oh, I found a picture of it. See, yeah, it's not even that. Yeah. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Harley.
Florida. I tell you what.
I tell you what. All right, that's all I got.
Okay, we're going to go ahead, take a little breaky break, stretch our limbs, run around maybe, and then move into our wonderful main segment, which you guys are not ready for. Probably are, but you might not be.
Who knows? Thank you all for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at AlwaysMorePod.
If you'd like to ask us a question for us to answer on the pod, you can email us at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com, or you can call us on our Always More hotline and leave a voicemail question at 254-218-4673. 4042.
You can also follow all of our social medias individually and us, the Always More podcast. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to it.
We're back. Back again for the main segment of this podcast.
There you go. Come on.
Okay, friends. So today, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Doom, 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 doom.
Today, we're talking about our favorite holiday traditions for the holiday season,
Yes.
as well as covering some of the holidays that are occurring at this time, because there's so
Yes.
many.
It's not just Christmas.
It's not just Christmas. And we are respectful of all of them around here.
Always more holidays.
Always more holidays. That's like our thing.
Yeah. That's what I should call this episode. I've been thinking all day about what to call this episode. I was like, what do I call this? I'm like, oh, now this is it. Always more holidays. Right? Is that,
Yes.
Wait, is that lame or does it actually sound cool? Now that I think about it.
It sounds good, but then I'm like, are people going to think this is a new segment or a new a new branch of the pod?
Always more holidays. This is we only talk about holidays on these episodes. No, I think they'll get it. I think they'll get it. You guys are smart enough. I think they'll be all right.
In theory. Who knows?
In theory.
I'm just kidding. I'm not underestimating the intelligence of our listeners. You guys are actually probably better than us. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's firstly talk about the holidays that are occurring during this time period. So, Tim, what is our first one?
Well, guys, let's start with the big one here in America. The first one, actually, it's around the world. I mean, it's because it's from a huge religion. You might have heard of it, called Christianity. Christmas is a wildly celebrated and annual holiday that holds deep religious significance for Christians around the world. It's one of the things I have to remind myself sometimes because I have such a disdain for American Christianity that there are good people around the world who are Christians. I mean, there are too in the U.S., but like there are other parts in the world where Christianity is not toxic. And that's hard to remember sometimes.
Yeah, they got it right. We're still we're catching up.
Not saying that there aren't toxic parts about it, but like I feel like predominantly because of the nature of the United States and its culture, and because of the integration between the two, that it's just so much worse here than everywhere else. I'm not saying that there aren't bad parts in the other part of the world, but especially here.
Right.
So, anyways. We're not talking about that. Observed on December 25th, it commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem, as described in the Christian Bible. The image of Santa Claus, inspired by the generosity of St. Nicholas, adds a cultural dimension to the celebration, bringing joy and excitement to children. The history of Christmas dates back to the early Christian church, with the establishment of December 25th as the official date of celebration believed to have occurred in the 4th century. It coincides with the Roman festival of Saturnalia. I almost speak Latin. And the winter solstice, incorporating elements of various pre-existing traditions. Over the centuries, Christmas has evolved into a global cultural and commercial phenomenon, embraced by people of diverse backgrounds. While its religious roots remain central for many, the holiday has become a time for family, generosity, and goodwill, symbolizing the spirit of peace and joy that transcends religious boundaries.
Fabulous.
Yeah. I think, with Christmas, it is interesting just to look at some of the history and how it has evolved over the years. Like, I don't think it is a pagan origin. I've seen enough scholarly work to kind of disprove that. But it definitely has changed in significance and changed in purpose over the last few hundred years, especially the commercialization of it especially is fascinating. But I think what's really cool, though, I don't know if you noticed this, Harley, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but the last few Black Fridays, I mean, granted COVID happened, but they haven't been as like big. They haven't been like we have to go out and buy everything. It's less about the material things, I think. And that also, I think, ties in with millennials as parents. They're a little bit less about that and more about family and kind of being out and doing things with their kids. But it's definitely kind of refreshing to see. I think there's a slow evolution of Christmas again, where it definitely is not about the things and the material wants and the gifts, but there is a truly a goodwill, a generosity. What can we do to give back? Kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I think it was probably also like a big COVID thing. Like people didn't get to be around
It's true.
their families. And then now that it's kind of mostly back to normal, I guess, whatever normal means, it's more like kinship than anything.
Yeah. I don't feel as much, and maybe this is just because I'm not in the church world anymore, but it doesn't feel as heavy. Like, I don't mean that in like a bad way necessarily, but it doesn't feel like it has to be this weighted, pressurized thing to make everything perfect. It feels like the spend time together kind of thing.
Yeah. It's also everything's too god dang expensive.
Well, yeah, that's a good point too.
You can't afford nothing
That's true.
to give to anybody. So it's like, here, I will give you my time and my companionship. Which is really,
you're welcome.
which is really what it should be about when you think about it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah. Very good point.
Christmas. I mean, what else can we say about it? Everyone kind of knows about it here.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the next one, which is Hanukkah.
Say that again.
Hanukkah.
There you go. You got the little phlegm in there.
So, if you didn't know, this is a Jewish holiday. Oh my gosh, why did I glitch?
Nice.
Judaism is the religion. Sorry. So, the dates vary, but it's, typically in December. I don't know what the dates are for this year. I have no idea. I feel like it's soon. Hold on. Hold up. It should tell me on my calendar.
On your calendar?
Yeah, doesn't your calendar tell you? Hanukkah, the first day is the 8th, December 8th.
Evening. Oh, interesting. My Google says evening of Thursday, December 7th into Friday, December 15th. Maybe because of like the first day. I don't know.
December 15th.
Through like December 7th to the 15th.
Oh, why doesn't mine tell me the end date? Just tells me the first day.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, it's like a week, right? A week or 12 days.
How about you read it and tell us?
Yes. Good idea. Okay. Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights, is a joyous and significant Jewish celebration that typically spans 8 nights.
There you go.
Who would have thought that the information on the paper would tell me what we're talking about?
That's what we're here for, guys. Just sound like idiots and then read you the truth.
No, that actually is kind of what this
That's
is
literally
all
all we do, guys.
Good times. Okay, so the holiday commemorates the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem during the 2nd century BCE. The story of Hanukkah is rooted in the historical events of the Maccabean Revolt, where a small group of Jewish warriors led by Judah Maccabee, did I say that correctly?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not Jewish.
It feels American, but, that's okay. Successfully rebelled against the oppressive rule of the Seleucid king. Oh,
you can do
geez. Antiochus.
Harley, Antiochus.
You're lying.
A city is Antioch. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but it's a city.
Oh, you're so right.
It's in the Bible.
It's named after him?
I don't know, but that's what I'm assuming it's closely related to.
Oh.
Look, I'm just speaking on my ass here. Like, you're the historian here.
I'm not like a religion historian, though. I'm having an out-of-body experience right now. My brain was like,
that's how I've heard it growing up. Like that's my English interpretation.
No,
like,
I'm
from what
sure
I've heard,
that's-
Antioch, and so I'm assuming
Right.
it's Antiochus.
right, that makes sense. But for some reason, you know when you like you see a word and you've like heard it pronounced, but you've never done it yourself.
Yeah. Reading it out loud, or like seeing it on paper and reading it out loud. Yeah,
That's what's happening.
I get that.
Okay, Seleucid King Antiochus. Sure,
Yeah.
we'll take it. The fourth. V1 before V is 4 in Roman numerals.
Correct.
Thank you. After reclaiming the desecrated Second Temple, the Jewish people found only a single jar of pure olive oil, enough to keep the temple's menorah burning for just 1 day. Miraculously, the oil lasted for 8 days, providing enough time to prepare a new supply. To commemorate this miracle, Hanukkah is observed by lighting the menorah, adding 1 candle each night until all 8 are illuminated. Families gather to share in the symbolic lighting, play games like dreidel, exchange gifts, and enjoy traditional foods such as latkes,
Latkes? I don't know.
potato pancakes.
I'm sure Janelle's like
And-
yelling at us right now.
I know, I'm so sorry. Latkes. That feels right.
Yeah, sounds, yeah.
And
About as close as we're going to get.
Sufganayat.
I'm so glad you took this one.
Oh man. I used to like pride myself on being able to like read a word and pronounce it. It has escaped
But
me.
unless you know the cultural like pronunciations, it's just
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
Sufganayat. I will take that. Sure.
Close
Which is jelly-filled donuts.
enough. Come on.
Delicious.
These guys know what they're doing.
Yeah. Hanukkah has both religious and cultural significance for the Jewish community. While it is not one of the biblically mandated festivals, it holds a special place in Jewish hearts as a testament to the resilience of faith and the triumph of light over darkness. The traditions associated with Hanukkah have evolved over time, emphasizing the themes of religious freedom, hope, and the importance of preserving cultural identity. The holiday serves as a reminder of the strength of the Jewish people and the enduring values that have sustained them throughout history.
It is cool kind of to
Rock
think about
on.
to think about how it's not biblically rooted and how it became such a staple. I mean, granted, they have the other festivals and like other seasons throughout the year, but how this one really has stood out as, maybe it's just because it's around the Christmas season over the last few centuries, but how it's the standout, at least in my mind, for one of the Jewish holidays.
For sure.
So it's very interesting.
Like I remember learning about it in like elementary school, and especially the dreidel, the game really fascinated me because it's like a spinning top almost. And then
Right.
I don't know exactly how to play it, of course, but the idea of it I thought was really fun. And the fact that like, you know, your whole family can get into it. Like, oh, so cute.
It is.
So cute.
Very cool, very cool.
And then also apparently like a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
And like every day for 8 days is like a big thing.
I mean, it's a pretty cool holiday. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just like even taking the religious aspect of it, like, gifts for 8 days.
Yeah. I was definitely jealous of that as a child.
All right.
Okay.
My
What's
turn?
next? Yes.
All right. Will apologize ahead of time. Like Harley, I don't know all the pronunciations, so I will try my best.
We're white people.
We
We're
are
sorry.
white. White. As white as can get. Kwanzaa. I really wish Chris were here. African American cultural celebration.
Is that because this is an African American cultural celebration? Is that why you said you wish Chris was here?
Yeah, speaking for him as the only person here with any kind of relative African descent, yes, that is exactly why.
That makes sense.
Kwanzaa is a cultural celebration that was established in the United States in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga, a professor and scholar of African studies. The holiday is observed from December 26th to January 1st, providing a week-long opportunity for African Americans and people of African descent to celebrate their heritage and cultural identity. Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, but rather a cultural one, intended to promote unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Each of the 7 days of Kwanzaa is dedicated to one of these principles, known as and forgive me again, Nguzo Saba, and is marked by the lighting of candles in a kinara, or candle holder, and reflections on the values they represent. Families come together to participate in ceremonies, share traditional foods, exchange gifts, and engage in activities that reinforce the principles of Kwanzaa. The name Kwanzaa is derived from the Swahili phrase
Swahili.
Yes, Swahili.
I
Again, one
definitely
of those
know that
things like
one.
you mentioned, like you heard it said before, but you.
Never seen it written.
Yep.
And then you're like, what?
Yep. Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits.
Huh.
Yeah, who knew? The holiday draws inspiration from various African harvest festivals and serves as a way to reconnect African Americans with their ancestral roots. Kwanzaa gained popularity during the Black Power movement of the 1960s and 70s, providing a cultural alternative to mainstream holiday celebrations. Today, people of diverse backgrounds participate in Kwanzaa, appreciating its emphasis on community, heritage, and the universal values it promotes. It stands as a meaningful and inclusive tradition that encourages reflection, unity, and the celebration of African culture.
That's actually pretty cool.
I really like that. Like, super. I mean, it's one of those things to where like how can I say this without sounding like a white privileged dude?
You can't.
I can't. It comes from oppression, and it comes from that. So it is absolutely their holiday. It is, but it's super cool to respect and to see on the outside as a white person. Like, that is really incredible. I would love to be in a environment where that is celebrated and see how that kind of culture can gravitate around those principles and everything. Because it is truly it's a worthy holiday, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know a lot of people who celebrate that holiday.
Yeah, me neither. I wonder if Chris does.
That's a good question.
Chris,
But I don't feel like any of my friends growing up, or maybe they did and we just didn't, like, that wasn't something, that we talked about. Oh, what holidays are you celebrating? But I think it's super cool. I didn't realize it was so new.
Yeah, me neither. When I was like researching a little bit of this, I'm like, oh, that's very new, very interesting.
Maybe that's like the misunderstanding about it, why people may not celebrate it, because they're like, oh, it has to be like some religious thing, or
right.
It has to like pertain to only being African, not just being of African descent or anything of that nature, or just being African American.
Well, it's interesting because like we're going to obviously in this next part we're going to tie in as to why. I mean, Christmas obviously has a religious background, but it tied into other festivals and things around it that I think helped boost it and helped pushed it into a easily popular time to celebrate. And so these holidays don't have to be religious. It could be which, if you think about it, religion is cultural, but it can be cultural. It can be based on a community or a group of people, and so it's really interesting. And I really think it's cool.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something that I find very cool every single year, or really every single 3 months. Is it 3 months that that this occurs? The solstices.
Oh, just 2. Summer and winter. Right?
What's the ones in between? What are those called?
Oh, man. You're making me look stuff up.
The seasons changing is basically what I'm getting at.
The seasons changed.
I will be talking about, as Tim looks that up, the winter solstice, which is, depends. It can be either the 21st or the 22nd of December. But this is it's funny because you said astronomical event, which is astronomical as in like big deal, and astronomical as in this planets.
It's 2, by the way.
It's 2?
Yep. It's an event that occurs when the sun appears to reach its most northerly or southerly excursion relative to the celestial equator.
What's it called when it becomes fall, though? And like when it becomes spring?
Equinox. Equinox.
My brain.
We were
Big
close.
brain.
I knew what you're getting at. Like, there's a halfway point, but
Yes. Those transitions. I love learning about those. I think they're really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get into what that is, what that means, what's going on. So the winter solstice occurring around December 21st or 22nd in the Northern Hemisphere. Oh, I have to burp. Why? I only drink water. Is a natural astronomical event that marks the shortest day and the longest night of the year. It is caused by Earth's axial tilt, which reaches its maximum, resulting in the sun appearing at its lowest point in the sky. The term solstice is derived from the Latin words sol, sun, and sistere, to stand still, reflecting the point when the sun appears to pause in its gradual journey across the sky. Across cultures and religions, the winter solstice holds significant symbolism, often representing the triumph of light over darkness. Sorry, that was the end of the sentence. Often representing the triumph of light over darkness. Many celebrations and traditions are associated with this event, reflecting themes of renewal, hope, and the promise of longer days ahead as the sun's path begins to ascend once again. Historically, the winter solstice has been a focal point for various festivals and rituals. In ancient cultures, such as the Roman celebration of Saturnalia, kind of talked about that, and the Norse festival of Yule, people marked this astronomical event with feasts, bonfires, and activities meant to symbolize the victory of light and warmth over the cold and dark winter. Stonehenge in England, built thousands of years ago, aligns with the winter solstice sunrise, suggesting that it may have been a site for solstice celebrations. Today, contemporary observances of the winter solstice include both cultural and spiritual practices, emphasizing the interconnectedness of humanity with the cycles of nature and the enduring symbolism of light during the darkest time of the year. That's so cool.
It is so wild. Like, so that guy I was telling you about, the outdoor boys guy, his name was Luke.
Oh, yeah.
This winter cabin, he lives in Alaska. Yeah. You know how like it gets like super dark here like now, and because obviously we do the time change thing too, but like the days are shorter and everything.
Right.
Yeah, if you live up in Alaska, like during that time, you only get like, I don't know, 6-7 hours of daylight. Like clear sun above the skyline, and like certain parts of it, it's touching the horizon at all times.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Just because of the way the Earth is oriented, it's so wild to me. Like it's so I love the fact that you go to the North Pole and you can have the sun literally above you at all times during this time period. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But that's like there's this lady on TikTok. She lives on this tiny island, and it's called Svalbard.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, yeah. Was it Norway or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something very, maybe not north. Is it like not exactly north because then you get the sunshine, right?
Well, it depends on what time of year.
Okay, well, recently she just posted about how she's going to be experiencing a month or so of darkness.
So she's up north.
Very north, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like the tilt
is away from the sun.
The sun.
Antarctica is in their summer right now.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I was having to like act that out for myself. But isn't that crazy?
It is. It is crazy. I remember too, like during COVID, I followed this guy on TikTok who lived at the South Pole, like literally the South Pole. You can't do that up north because it's just ice. But like Antarctica, South Pole, and just how like during the summer it was just all darkness there, and so it's just that. And so they actually have a day to celebrate when the first sunrise happens. But their first sunrise, it's not like it's here comes over the horizon. It's like skirt over the horizon kind of thing.
Does Australia experience that, or like very southern South America experience that darkness.
I'm sure Argentina does. Yeah, because that goes all. That's the southern tip of South America. But I don't know if it's that extreme. Actually, I don't. Why not? Let me see. It's got to
I've
be something
always
close to
wondered
it.
that.
Because I mean, I gotta look at the latitude line compared to like Alaska, but I'm sure it's close to. I'm sure they get quite a few, not that many daylight hours during their winter. No, during their summer. That's wild to think about too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's theirs. No, it's their winter. It's just the month.
Oh, yeah. Our summer.
I'm an idiot. Yeah.
No, you're not an idiot. Stop it.
Thanks.
Honest mistake.
I'm looking at a globe. It's pretty far south. So, I mean, like I wouldn't be surprised.
I just feel like I never hear about it.
Yeah.
What about Australia?
I mean, let me look at a globe. It's going to be a lot easier to. Globe.
No?
It's not as far. South America goes further south. I mean, the tip of South America goes further south than Australia. But, I mean, the southern tip of South America is not too far away from, like, one of the more northern tips of Antarctica. So that's probably a realistic thing. But you also have to remember, too, most of the landmass that we have in the world is above the equator. Most of it. Like, I think 90% of the world's population is above the northern part of the equator.
Oh.
And so that's probably why you hear about it more, winter, up north than down there.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I love geography.
It's wild.
It is.
Very disorienting.
All right. Ready to do this last one? Completely opposite from everything else?
Yes.
I thought it was an interesting one because I like soccer, and I hear about this every year after Christmas. And we're talking about Boxing Day.
There's a movie about this, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know.
I think there is a movie about this.
I don't know. I've never seen it. Boxing Day is celebrated in various countries, including the UK, Canada, and Australia. It's December 26th. So basically, countries colonized by the UK. Boxing Day, observed on December 26th, is a public holiday celebrated in several countries, including the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. The exact origin of Boxing Day is unclear, and various theories exist. One prevalent explanation suggests that it has historical ties to the tradition of giving boxes of food, money, or goods to those less fortunate or to service workers on the day after Christmas. Another theory connects it to the practice of employers giving, quote, Christmas boxes to their employees as a token of appreciation. While the name may imply a connection to the sport of boxing, the holiday has evolved beyond this, and its modern observance includes various activities such as family gatherings, sports events, and shopping. In the UK and some Commonwealth countries, Boxing Day has become synonymous with post-Christmas sales and shopping akin to like the Black Friday sales of the US, which is weird to me because it's like the whole point of Black Friday is to shop for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's a weird concept. Like, we just had this holiday for Christmas. Let's go buy more things. And like, that's weird to me.
Well then, but they don't really celebrate Thanksgiving because they're not American.
No, but my thought was like, well, maybe that would be like a December 1st thing. Like, it's here. Like, we're going to do that. Like, why would like the buying of things be associated with something right after Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, same game. Same game. Same way, like the candy on November 1st after Halloween is on sale.
That's a good point. That's
so
a good
it's
point.
like, yeah.
You know what? That does make good sense. Good way to connect that, Harley.
You're welcome.
That clicked in my brain. It is a day. You know what's interesting? Like, whenever you think like things just don't make sense and you just need things to be explained to you.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Let's learn some more. Let's open our doors a little bit wider, guys. Come on.
Crazy how communication works.
How learning works.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk? It is a day when many retailers offer significant discounts, attracting shoppers seeking bargains. Additionally, Boxing Day is often associated with sporting events, including traditional horse races, soccer matches, and outdoor activities. That's how I best know it. There's a lot of soccer games on Boxing Day. Family and friends may gather for festive meals, and it remains a time for relaxation and entertainment, extending the spirit of Christmas beyond December 25th. While the specific traditions associated with Boxing Day may vary between countries, the holiday generally embodies a sense of generosity, community, and the continuation of holiday festivities.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Let's just take that.
It's just, yeah.
Just go ahead. Bring that on over.
I mean, why not? I mean, we Americans like to spend stuff anyways.
Yeah. Facts.
All
Very
right.
cool.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
many holidays.
Learning some stuff.
Dun, 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 dun. Who'd have thought? That's like kind of what we're all about.
It is.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get into the other half of our main segment, which is where we talk about our favorite traditions and stuff like that when it comes to the holidays.
Yes.
Tim, take it away.
Christmas Eve feast. I don't know how this happened, but we started incorporating on Christmas Eve eating like our most wanted things, like as trashy or as delicious as you want it to be. And so for me, growing up as a kid, it was fried shrimp.
Oh, wow.
I love fried shrimp. And so it was one of those things. I would have that, and we all liked chips and queso. And I think my dad had like barbecue wings. And what did my mom have? She has like some dessert that she liked. She always liked to get some kind of dessert. And so we always kind of just incorporated like our own favorite things. And we would like have watch a Christmas movie or play a game together, but we would have our favorite foods and just have a little feast before Christmas Day. And
That's so cute.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
It's very different than like the traditional way of doing it, where people basically have like a second Thanksgiving, which I think is insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know people did that until I got older.
Well, we would like sometimes occasionally have like a good, quote, fancy Christmas like lunch. But a lot of times too, we would leave like Christmas Day or like a day after Christmas to go to Iowa for my dad's side of the family. And so it just kind of makes sense for us to let's have a splurge. Let's not stress about a big fancy lunch or dinner or something. So that was kind of I think where that started from.
That makes sense.
And then another thing too, since Christmas Eve, we would oftentimes just open up. It's kind of a usual thing, but open up like one gift on Christmas Eve and kind of celebrate. And
same,
kind of cool.
Iconic. That's the best.
Yes.
I remember being like, "Oh yeah, that's so original," and then like all my friends being like, "Oh yeah, I do that too," and then I was like, "Oh, no original thoughts over here."
What you got?
Okay. So, some of my favorite holiday traditions, I always, ever since I first watched the films, are the Santa Claus film series.
Harley, look, you and I are different in many ways.
Where are you going with this?
But this might be one of the most extremes.
What?
I cannot stand Tim Allen.
Are you serious?
And I cannot stand those movies.
What?
Blasphemy. Good for you. I'm happy for you. But I tell you what, if there was an extreme for us, this is probably it.
How? Why? Why don't you like them?
It probably has something to do with my disdain for like 90s movies in general. The cheesiness and I just don't like the cheesiness of the 90s.
But the cheesiness is the best part.
No.
Oh my goodness, gravy. I don't even think.
For you.
Anyways, I love them. I specifically like the second one better than the first one. Yeah. You hate it more?
I'm just going to be quiet.
Oh, brother. That one came out in the 2000s, I'm pretty sure. So you can take that 90s cheese and shove it.
You tell me the cheesiness isn't there?
I'm sure it is, but it's better. It's less cheese, more satinness. Whatever, I don't care. I love them.
And as you should. You enjoy what you want to enjoy.
I prefer those over Elf sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Elf can get on my nerves.
Elf is a little extreme even for me. Like I enjoy it sometimes, but like once every 2 years for me. For Elf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
My other one is I always love going to either like a drive-through Christmas light show.
Oh.
So like, you know, in Belton, how they did that at the lake.
Mm-hmm.
What was that called?
Blora?
Nature and Lights? Yeah.
Oh, I forget. It's one of those.
And they do like the nature and lights or whatever.
Mhm.
And then, or I love just to at least go drive around and look at Christmas lights, especially in rich people neighborhoods,
Yeah.
because they have the good stuff. But my favorite by far, if it ever is like, you know, I can attain it, is when you go to those houses and they have the lights that match the radio station.
Oh, yeah.
And it plays the music that goes with the lights. I've only ever, I think, really witnessed two of those kinds of houses in my lifetime, but I loved them. It was awesome.
So when I was in high school, there's this like hardcore metal band called August Burns Red, and every winter they would release a new Christmas song that they would cover, and it was all just instrumental. So like they're not like screamo or anything. They are that kind of band, but not these songs. And it was always super dope because it's really cool. It's a very unique. It's like when the what was that? The Carol of the Bells rendition, the rock version of that. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like when that came out, it was around that same kind of time period. So like that was super into it. But that would be like my thing. If I were to do like that where like I have a radio thing, it would just be those albums, the winter ones.
Yeah. I feel like I literally remember the Carol of the Bells. Yeah. It was like the snowman like rocking out.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Have you seen? There's guys. I'm waiting for the day that this can happen, where I have a neighbor who is like super rich or just likes to go out on Christmas, and they have everything like super decked out on their lawn. I just want to have like a sign. I saw this on TikTok. This guy had a sign. He goes, "Really, this guy?" And just like that was it. Like that was it. Like light around that sign, and that was it.
Wow. Why?
I mean, like it's just like what are you gonna do? Like it was so extravagant. Like anything that you do next to it is gonna like pale in comparison. So you might as well just play into it.
Yeah,
he's not making fun of it. He's like trying to go, well, I can't really do anything to compete with this.
Just go next door.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was like in a Grinch way.
No.
What the heck?
No, like a playful, like, look at this guy. He's got it covered.
Oh, I do love watching the Jim Carrey Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
That one is actually, even though that's like an early 2000s, that is one that I can stand because I think, I don't know, it had like a sense of not realism, but it had like I don't know, it didn't feel cheesy for the sake of cheesy. It didn't feel...
It felt like it was making fun of itself.
Yeah, like it didn't take itself too seriously, and I really like that.
I relate to him, the Grinch, as I get older.
Very true. The Grinch
like
is easy to relate to.
Yeah, the scene where he's trying to get dressed for the
oh yeah,
Jubilee or whatever it's called, and he's like, ooh, that's it, I'm not going.
There was a lot of like young adult energy in that film.
Yeah,
and that's what made it so great.
Good job, Jim.
Yeah,
good job. Okay.
Times.
Holiday gifts, some of our favorites ever. So my first one is actually pretty recent. So last year, it was obviously my first Christmas, like not with like at home, like ever.
Has it been a year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Chris. Mm-hmm.
Come back to Texas.
I actually debated on doing that recently. Just like taking a trip.
Come on, Hunter. Come on.
I know. But so he ended up buying me a whole lot of like podcast gear. So like he actually bought me like these headphones. He bought me the little iRig thing that I use to like connect it to the computer and like have it work, and the camera that I use. And I was like, wow, how wholesome.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, so sweet. Such a goober. But that was really cool because it was like, you know, really helped with like, you know, the distance of moving and trying to get settled and still do the pod, even though like being so far away, and then just have like a better quality recording.
Right.
For all of this.
What a guy.
My next one is when I was in elementary school. So it wasn't like a gift, but it was more of like the act of giving that like was my favorite. When I was in elementary school, so it was my dad and then like all 5 of us like kids. And I think he ended up signing us up for like some Christmas help assistance program at my elementary school. And because all of my older siblings had gone through the same elementary school that I went through, all of the teachers like know us, like just know our family forever. And so I remember like one day before Christmas, the doorbell, like, or them knocking at the door and then like my dad opening it. And then like a whole bunch of like like my teachers and my siblings' teachers, like just bringing in bags upon bags of gifts for us to just like have under our tree. And they even bought them for like my oldest siblings too, who like even they were in like probably like late middle school or early high school at that time, but they still got them stuff too. And I was like, oh, that's just so nice. And I really hope that that program is still like a thing that schools can do. Or just like, I know a couple organizations where I live do that, but I don't know about like schools and stuff. But yeah, I was like, that's a Christmas I'll always remember.
That's cool.
I remember getting a doll that I loved from that Christmas. And I was like, yes.
How old were you?
Oh, God, I don't even know. I want to say like.
If your siblings were in middle school, so you must have been like elementary, young elementary.
I was probably in like 1st or 2nd grade.
Okay. Super memorable.
Yeah. And it was awesome.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yes.
For me, mine too, like they do obviously have like a money thing with it, but I think it was because it was what I was into. So I'm going to start off with, I got a laptop one year. No, let me go back. A Nintendo 64. That was a game changer. And I mean, I mean that literally and everything else. Like, that was like, I think one of my first big gifts that I ever got. Growing up, we were kind of not poor, but we were lower middle class. And so like that was one of my first bigger gifts. And I remember getting that with the Star Wars pod racing game and GoldenEye. That was my jam. And I loved that. I just remember that very, very vividly. Next up, growing up, I got 2 things. I can't remember what order I got them from, so I'll just mention them both. So when I was in middle school and high school, I was in band and like all the bands. I did concert, I did jazz, I did marching, I did in competitions, both solo and ensemble. That was my thing. Yeah, and then I was in the church band. I played bass guitar, trombone. I dabbled with piano and baritone, and a lot of stuff. And during that time, I was also super into creating music with my best friend, Chris. And so it slowly incorporated into us creating music together. And that's when I got a laptop and a piano. And so I would create music on the piano, it connected to my laptop, and we would make music together and put it all on there and edit on there. And kind of like, that was just like, I got the laptop. It was cool. I used it for college too, as I grew up, but it was really one of those really awesome things that I got to create a lot on, and I get to use it for many years. And I still have the same one. It's super old, but I still have it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to create a lot of cool things with Chris on there.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's all I got.
Wow. Especially when you're like a teen and you're like going through that, like, oh, I just want to make things that I can express myself.
Yes, very much so.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
12 out of 10.
One of these days, I'll find some of that music, and I don't know if I'll make y'all suffer, but I might make it available.
Oh my God. Expose us. I mean, expose y'all. Expose us. I wasn't even thought of, probably.
Always more music.
Always more AMM. M or FUM. Okay, friends. So that concludes our holidays. Snap fingers. You guys can't see that, obviously. It's fine. We're going to take a little breaky break. Bye. Hello again.
Hello.
Okay, we're going to go ahead, wrap up today's episode with one more little segment.
Woo!
And is this the one you say? I can't remember. I feel like we don't do this often enough.
This might be the one that Chris did, and I gotta find it. I think I have it ready. Are you ready for it?
I am ready for it.
All right, here it is. Oh, it's not.
Things
Oh, it is. There's
I
Chris.
learned from the internet.
He's still with us.
Wow.
He's still with us.
It's like he's always there. Wait, what's that one thing? It's like, stop telling people I'm dead. It's like I can hear him.
Chris is alive and well in our hearts and in our podcast.
Yes. Okay, so what is this thing
Okay.
that you have learned?
Okay, I gotta
kinda
go through this
nervous.
quickly because this is a wild one, guys. This could have almost been an Always More History episode. In 1930, attorney Robert Heiner Wynn discovered the harrowing condition of Eben Byers, a once vibrant man whose health deterioration due to Radithor, a popular radium-infused medicine. Byers, a Yale graduate and an accomplished athlete, had turned to Radithor to alleviate persistent pain from an injury. Unaware of its lethal consequences, he consumed large quantities, leading to a decay of his bones, particularly his upper and lower jaw, a condition known as radium jaw.
Oh, like the Radium Girls.
Byers... What?
The Radium Girls in the Watch Factory?
Oh, yes.
Oh my-
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, I was about to say.
Yes. Yes. Byers' tragic demise in 1932 at the age of 51 highlighted the dangers of radium poisoning and prompted the FDA to shut down the company behind Radithor. In the early 1900s, the belief in radium's curative properties led to the creation of various radium-emitting products saturating the market. From
Idiots.
toothpaste to suppositories, if it could contain radium, it was available to health-conscious consumers.
Suppositories?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Radium decayed quickly, requiring consumption of the source for healing properties. Devices like the Revigator, a jar containing radium ore, allow people to enjoy radioactive water at home.
Genuinely, what was going on in the 30s?
How did we survive as a civilization? The
That's
radium,
why so many people had cancer.
it's just leftover from all that radium.
Yes.
This radium craze persisted until the 1980s. With
The 80s?
With products like Lifestone cigarettes holders claiming to protect users from lung cancer using radium.
Dude, what? Where's the logic on that? Have this cancer drug. It will protect you from cancer.
Guys, look, you can get smoke cancer, you can get lung cancer, or you can get radium cancer. I'm going with radium cancer.
Sounds cooler. It's the hit thing nowadays.
Eben Byers' disturbing fate and the plight of the radium girls raised
Yes.
awareness about radiation poisoning, leading to the implementation of laws banning hazardous products. Despite these precautions, radium-based products continued to be sold into the 1980s, emphasizing the lasting impact of this perilous chapter in medical history. Even today, radioactive health springs remain in operation, serving as a reminder of the enduring consequences of the early 20th century fascination with radioactive elements.
That's so dumb. Like, genuinely.
It's like, what is it, lead with like our Gen X parents? Like, was it lead poisoning? That was a big thing for a while.
Oh, yeah, like in the paint.
Yeah.
And people were just eating paint chips.
Wild. It's
Also, uranium in the dishes, like the uranium cups and stuff.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok who like goes to like thrift stores and like with a because you can find those with
With the black light.
yes.
Hunter's best friend, we went to an antique store and he was like, oh my God, it's uranium dishes. He bought them. Sure enough. Yeah,
That's wild.
they are uranium. He was like, I'm going to have a collection. And I'm like, oh my
Let's
God.
store this in my house.
Yeah. Big brain, I guess. But yeah, it's actually crazy. And it's insane how much they glow.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's kind of scary, actually. To each their own, I guess.
One man's radioactive silverware is one man's treasure.
Yeah, really. Okay.
What you got?
So,
what'd you learn?
Mine, I actually learned this from TikTok briefly. But I kind of like deep dove because, hyperfixations.
Yeah.
So Kansas City, Missouri, there is a Kansas City crime family, aka Kansas City Mafia.
Oh my goodness. What
So
are we
close.
getting into?
So close. If I go missing, don't worry about it. It's probably the mob. It's fine.
You're revealing a mafia with a population density of nothing. So of course you might go missing, Harley. Why are you talking about this right now?
It's fine. We're fine. Maybe they'll appreciate my interest.
Take us seriously.
Right. So when I was in middle school, I used to have a huge Mafia craze.
Who didn't? Who didn't in middle school?
It was because of the video game Mafia 2.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever played that?
No,
big fan.
I've seen it, but I was super into The Godfather, so that was my gateway.
Yeah, there you go. So everybody's got their own gateway drug, if you will. It's fine. But then I was like, oh yeah, I want to, and I started trying to get the accent thing, blah, blah, blah. Not Italian. You're Italian though.
A little bit, yeah.
So there you go. That's awesome. But they are an Italian-American mafia family based in Kansas City, Missouri, of course. So let me do I kind of posted my notes a little bit out of order because I was just so excited. I was just dumping. But basically, the background is the Italian-American organized crime family began when two Sicilian mafiosi, ?
Mafiosi.
Sure. Or gangsters known as the Di Giovanni brothers fled Sicily to Kansas City, Missouri in 1912.
Can I put a pause here to talk about Sicily and Mafia there just for a quick second?
Oh, sure.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no.
For y'all that don't understand Mafia history, they were especially in Sicily, they were the real deal. Like when World War II was happening and allies were getting ready to invade Italy, they used the help of the Mafia in Sicily to topple the regime and the army in Italy, including with the Nazis and everything. Like the Mafia was there to help the Allies because they were just so ruthless and they just went out and killed Nazis and they killed Axis leaders and they helped basically persuade the public to helping and allowing the Americans in. And yeah, these guys are no joke.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So this was when they became a thing. This was shortly before World War I. When they came over here. Yeah. Joseph Joe Church was his nickname, apparently. Di Giovanni and Peter Sugarhouse Pete Di Giovanni began making money from a variety of criminal operations or rackets shortly after their arrival. Their fortunes greatly improved with the with the introduction of Prohibition, when they became the only group bootlegging alcohol in Kansas City.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. I'll tell you what. Their rackets at this time were controlled by John Lazia, ? Yeah. Who later became the leading figure when the organization expanded. The gang was given virtually a free hand to operate by their boss, Tom Pendergast, head of the Pendergast machine that controlled Kansas City's government at the time. That's crazy. So that's a lot of power.
It sure is, yeah.
If you don't know, you're pretty much in charge at that point.
You own Kansas.
Yeah. Under Pendergast, Kansas City became a wide open town with absolutely no alcohol-related arrests being made within city limits during the entirety of Prohibition.
Awesome. It's like, do we go out there in the middle of nowhere to stop this? No, it's not worth it.
Nah, it's fine. It's okay. The Di Giovanni family directly benefited from this lack of enforcement of Prohibition laws, obviously. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and skip a couple decades to the 1970s. And this is when Nicholas Cavillo, I think is his name. Sevilla. Nicholas Sevilla. He's becomes the boss at this point.
Okay.
So he's in charge of the Kansas City crime family. But basically, there are obviously a lot of arrests and deaths in between here and the 1970s. There's a whole lot going on. There's probably at least, I think, 4 boss switches in this time.
Okay.
But this is when a skimming operation began known as Operation Strawman against the Tropicana Casino in Las Vegas. So this expands beyond Kansas City to Las Vegas, involving Chicago mob bosses and Milwaukee mob bosses, and just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So basically, the Mob Museum in Las Vegas, is it Nevada? I never know how to pronounce it.
Nevada.
Nevada or Nevada.
Nevada.
To each their own. Has a collection dedicated to the Kansas City Mafia family and its connection in the Las Vegas skim case, which is basically a fraud case involving a couple casinos in Vegas that some mafia bosses in various places like Chicago, Milwaukee, and Kansas City are all involved in. An article from, I think, the 80s, when the actual court case happened. I attached it in the notes. There's a link. There's a quote that says, although the indictment specified skimming or secretly removing $2 million from gambling proceeds before taxes were paid on it, federal law enforcement officials have estimated that many times that amount were siphoned from the casinos during the ownership of Alan R. Glick.
Wow.
So that's a whole lot of money. I don't know what that amount is to equal inflation during our time period.
Yeah.
But I imagine.
How much again?
$2 million.
And what time was that again? What year?
1970s.
Okay. I can
Hold
figure it
up.
out.
Oh, wait. I have it pulled up right here. What am I doing?
Inflation comparison.
Yeah, it just says 1970s.
Okay. I'll figure it out. Keep talking.
Nope.
No?
I thought I found a specific year.
Oh.
It basically says the actual case occurred in 1983, but the crimes occurred in the 1970s.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's that. The Kansas City family had an estimated 25 made members as of the late 1990s, according to the FBI. The current boss of the family is believed to be John Joseph Sciortino, also known as Johnny Joe, godson of Anthony Sevilla, who is Nicholas Sevilla's brother.
Okay.
They both ended up going to, I think, jail. They both went to prison based off of that Operation Strawman skimming incident. And then the current underboss is believed to be Peter Simone. And there are no pictures of these people, which is for the best. I don't want to know what they look like ever.
You said $2 million, right?
$2 million.
About $11 to $13 million today.
That's insane.
That's wild.
That is a lot of money.
Lots of money.
But apparently, there was even more than that was possibly siphoned.
I'm sure. Yeah, there's got to be more than secretly somewhere. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Super.
The world is a fascinating place. Just all the wild
Organized crime.
Organized crime.
Who would have thought?
Those silly criminals. Yeah.
I mean, if you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
But I don't. So
No. It is a whole other world and scenario. Like, you think about just like what has to happen in order for you to, what people are willing to do to get wealth and do their own things. Like, it's just, what is upsetting is people that are what you would consider lower class criminals are more vindicated, or is that the right word?
Yeah.
Are more criminalized and more made out to be evil than billionaires. Oops, sorry.
Facts.
Billionaires and whatnot. But anyways. I digress.
That's a whole other topic of conversation.
A whole other one.
On our next episode.
Next episode, we eat the rich. Join us for always more. I don't know.
Oh, it's more capitalism.
Oh man! All right, that's all I got.
That's all I got as well. I don't have any final thoughts.
No final thoughts.
No thoughts. Head empty.
I think the final thought should be go and learn and explore about other holidays around this time of year, and maybe find a way to give back to your community, whether that's your close community with family and friends, or your one that's larger. That's your city or your town or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Super good.
That's all.
My job, we have a mitten and hat tree.
Ooh.
In our lobby, where basically people can donate mittens and gloves and hats for those who don't have them. Yeah. And we will take them to various organizations after, the holiday season is over and donate them to those organizations so they can give them away.
That's pretty neat.
Well, I've also had a couple people who I'm like, if you need gloves, if you need a hat, just go ask. And I'm sure they will let you take some from the tree right now if you need. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. But I think that's a cute idea that a lot of people should probably do.
It is. Donating to things that you don't need instead of trying to sell them. That's always a good idea.
See if your local community has a craft swap going on or anything like that. We're also putting on one of those. Just literally no money involved. Just, you want these? Take them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Barter in the trade, if you will.
There you go. Pride. Well, Harley, are we ending this thing?
We are ending this thing. It's time to wrap it up. Time to go to bed.
Time to hit the old dusty trail.
Back in the yeehaw days. Yeehaw pardoner.
Yeehaw. You want me to close it or are you closing it? What you got?
I will close it. Okay.
Close it away.
Closing the box. Whoosh. Thank you all again so much for listening to our episode today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it.
I had fun.
I did put a lot of thought into this one, actually. There's the Mafia and so Tim put most of the thought, but when does he not? Be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow us on all of the podcast platforms that you know and own. Whether you got Spotify, you got Apple Podcasts, you have, what is the other ones?
Google.
There's Google. You listen to us on YouTube, or watch us on YouTube. Do all the things and leave 5 stars, please. That's it. I'm not even going to give you another option. Please do that. And you can find us on places like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Always More Pod. Tim, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Timothy Lichty. That's Liechty.
Fabulous. And you can find me on Instagram at WhatHarley, WUT Harley, and on the Clock app at harleybean.co. Thank you so much for listening and for being a part of the conversation. And remember, there is always more than this. Bye!
Bye! Yes, repeat.
You're supposed to bring it back up, I thought.
Because it's going to die down.
Oh.
Man, I got to edit that.
I thought you were going to bring it back.
Hold
on.
Sorry. Let me write that in.
So you're going to bring it back up. I forget it.
I was leaving it high. I was leaving it high for a long time. That's why I was.
Oh.
That's fine.
That was not a long time. Time is, what is the word?
Relative?
Relative.